This is a movie from the perspective of a young girl, Riley's emotions, namely joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger, as she copes with her new life, relocation, school, and a new city. The movie begins with the dialogue of Joy, one of the 5 personified feelings living inside Riley's brain, who explains the inner working of the little girl's emotions that are responsible for her basic actions. Her experiences are saved as memory orbs which are colored according to the relevant emotion, and each night when she sleeps, the memories are shifted into long-term memory storage. Core memories are stored separately, and out of these, some of the most important core memories make up 5 personality islands, relevant to the main aspects of Riley's personality. Joy, along with sadness, fear, disgust, and anger, navigates Riley's day every day as she lives her perfect life with her parents. Once Riley is 11, her father gets a better job in San Francisco, so they move out from Minnesota, leaving behind the life they knew. The emotions are anticipating the move, the new house, new city, but things look bleak when they reach the new house. Despite trying to maintain Riley's happy mood, Joy is worried when she sees other colored orbs stacking up in that day's storage, as the move has Riley feeling troubled. However, when she notices things getting out of control when Riley's parents start arguing, Joy activates a core memory and diffuses the tension, causing Riley to engage her family in a game of hockey in the empty house. Just as happy orbs start stacking up, Riley's father is called in at work, leaving Riley sad. She activates the memory of a pizza place Riley noticed on their way to this house, and Riley and her mom leave for it immediately. However, disgust takes over Riley's brain because that pizza place serves only one flavor, pizza topped with broccoli, something Riley absolutely abhors. Her mood worsens when she learns that the moving van won't be here for a few days since it was misdirected to Texas. Joy is fumbling through happy memories, and she briefly puts away the bad mood with a core memory, but when sadness touches that memory, it is converted into a sad memory, making Riley sad. To cut it short, this day has not been too easy for Riley, and the emotions argue with Joy that there is no reason for Riley to end the day on a happy note. However, when Riley's mother comes to kiss her goodnight, she thanks her for being happy through the tough day, which vanishes the bitter feelings in her mind. Mom suggests she and Riley put on their best behaviors for the next few days, as Dad is quite stressed about the new job and things will eventually get better. As Riley sleeps, the emotions retire for the day, leaving Joy behind to wrap up the day's work. She disapproves of the dream production for that night as it is an amalgam of all the things that were wrong that day. She switches the dream off and activates a core memory where young Riley is having a ball with her parents while skating happily. Joy promises to keep Riley happy as long as she can. The next morning, Joy wakes up the other emotions and walks everyone through their roles to ensure that Riley has a great day since it is her first day at school in the new city. She even orders extra daydreams via the train of thought just in case Riley needs some mood boosters in school. Riley walks to school in a happy and nervous mood after saying goodbye to her parents. Once in class, when the teacher asks Riley to introduce herself, it goes well and she describes her good times in Minnesota until sadness touches the happy core memory, turning it blue and making Riley sad, because that is a thing of the past now. This makes Riley cry and a sad core memory is created. Committed to not letting a sad core memory power the 5 islands, Joy tries to dispose of the sad core memory through a vacuum tube, but sadness intervenes, letting free all the other core memories, which disables the personality islands. Joy, sadness, and the core memories are sucked into the vacuum tube, leaving the headquarters and all control to disgust, fear, and anger. Joy and sadness end up in the long-term memory, and when they notice that Riley's personality islands are disabled, they figure out that Riley won't be herself and they need to get back to the headquarters, as without Joy, Riley will never be happy. Meanwhile, back at the headquarters, disgust, fear and anger are having a hard time trying to simulate Joy as they miserably fail. While Riley is having dinner with her parents, she does not exhibit any excitement when her mother informs her of upcoming ice hockey tryouts nearby. When Mom signals Dad to intervene, it results in a heated conversation, and as the emotions are unable to respond like Joy, this ends up triggering anger for both Riley and Riley gets sent to her room by Dad. Later, Dad tries to reconcile with Riley and he tries to make her happy, but without Joy, Riley is unable to reciprocate Dad's feelings and turns away from her dad. Meanwhile, Joy and sadness move toward the headquarters via the island tube, but they don't even get halfway and it starts crumbling. Fearing that they will fall into the memory dump where things get lost, they rush back toward the long-term memory, watching the entire island fall into the memory dump. As Riley goes to sleep, sadness fears that they will be stuck down here forever, but Joy knows they have to push through so she can set things straight. Remembering that she asked sadness to memorize all the journals, she asks her to lead the way to get back to the headquarters. Since Sadness is too sad to walk, Joy ends up dragging her through the long-term memory labyrinth, following her directions. However, it seems like they are running in circles, and they notice Riley has woken up. Joy is still guarding the core memories against the headquarter, and does not let Sadness touch them or they will irreversibly turn blue. Suddenly, they come across mind workers that are disposing of old memories that have not been retrieved in the recent past. When the old memories are sent in the memory dump, they can never be retrieved. Just then, Joy hears a crashing noise and she realizes that the Friendship Island has fallen into the memory dump. As it happens, Riley talks to her best friend in Minnesota, but when she learns she has been replaced in the ice hockey team, anger takes control at the headquarters and makes Riley shut down the call. Just as Joy is figuring out how to get to the headquarters before Riley loses any more of her islands, she notices Bing Bong, Riley's imaginary friend from her childhood that she adored. After his failed attempts at trying to dodge Joy, he finally warms up to her when she remembers a few things about their imaginary band and plays. When Bing Bong learns about the fiasco that led to Joy being stuck in the long-term memory, he guides them toward a shortcut that will lead them to the train of thoughts, which is the quickest sure-shot way to get to the headquarters. Despite Sadness warning them about the dangers of the abstract memories section that Bing Bong takes them to, Joy chooses to ignore the warning so she can get back as soon as possible. Just as they are halfway through, the mind workers from before activate the abstract memory conduit leading to the fragmentation of Joy, Sadness, and Bing Bong. They barely escape the abstract chamber and make it to the station, but it is too late since they see the train of thought moving away already. Coming back to their original form, Bing Bong reminds them of another station, but to reach it, they have to go through the imagination land. Crossing the land filled with French fries, clouds, lava, and whatnot, Joy notices a distant rumbling and watches in horror as the hockey island collapses. As it happens, Riley and her mom went to the ice hockey tryouts, but with no core memory, she is unable to play and storms away from the stadium. Joy urges Bing Bong to rush toward the train station, but he gets distracted when the mind workers throw his rocket cart in the memory dump, crushing his hopes of going to the moon with Riley. Joy tries to cheer him but nothing works. Sadness sits with him and listens to his feelings, which helps him feel better, and he gets back on track and takes them to the train. Joy is finally looking forward to fixing things, but her happiness is cut short because Riley falls asleep and the train of thought stops dead in its track. Sadness suggests they wake her up as they are near the Dream production studios. They head to the Daily Dream Theater and barge into the dream Riley is having. Joy wants to give Riley so much happiness that she wakes up in exhilaration, but Sadness reminds her that it will never work. Despite trying to cheer her up in the dream, they cause the dream to become somewhat disturbing, which starts to manifest on the meter as Riley is getting closer to waking up. The dream team calls security once they learn that the imposters are trying to wake Riley up. The security captures Bing Bong and throws him away in the subconscious, and along with him the bag of all the core memories. Joy and Sadness follow him inside the subconscious, which is an eerie place full of Riley's darkest fears. After they help Bing Bong free from the captivity of Jangles the Clown, they trick Jangles into appearing in the dream, causing Riley to wake up, which gets the train of thought moving. Meanwhile, back at the headquarters, Anger instills the idea of heading back to Minnesota as a way of getting back Riley's happiness. He makes Riley book a bus for the next day and steals money from her mother's purse for the bus fare. Riley leaves the house to flee back to Minnesota. This causes the train of thought to self-destruct and the Honesty Island falls into the memory dump. Joy rushes to get to the headquarters through a recollection tube, leaving Sadness behind to get back to the headquarters, but the tube falters midway, resulting in Joy falling into the memory dump, along with all the core memories. Joy finally breaks down as she looks at all the memories that have been forgotten because all she ever wanted was to keep Riley happy forever. Going through the old memory orbs, Joy realizes that Sadness had always been around to help Riley regulate her emotions. Suddenly, she remembers that Bing Bong's rocket was dumped here, so they search for it, and once they find it, they power it with songs so they can get back to the headquarters. After a few tries, Bing Bong realizes the weight is too much for the rocket to return to the surface, and since he has begun to fade away, he coaxes Joy into another try and he jumps off the rocket just before the launch so Joy can get back and return Riley's happiness. Meanwhile, Riley's parents notice that Riley is missing. When they call her, Fear thinks they are on to them, but Anger proceeds with sticking to the original plan of moving back to Minnesota for Riley's happiness. Thinking they may have gone a little too far, the emotions try to scare her so Riley can change her decision and return to her parents, but as it happens, Riley just does not feel anything anymore. On the other hand, Joy manages to find Sadness and apologizes for not realizing all that she did for Riley all this time. After getting help from the imaginary land, Joy manages to get to the headquarters along with Sadness. The others are thrilled to have Joy back and they ask her to fix Riley, but they are taken aback when she asks Sadness to fix the situation. As it happens, Joy realizes that it's only Sadness that can fix Riley. All this time Joy had been saving the core memories from Sadness so she wouldn't change them into sad memories, but this is exactly how Sadness is able to change Riley's mind about Minnesota, and she returns home, breaking down in front of her parents that she misses her old life, friends, and hockey team. Her parents embrace her and tell her that they too miss Minnesota and it is all going to be okay. Suddenly, a new core memory is made, which is a mix of happiness and tears. New core memories activate new personality islands, which are a mix of old and new aspects of Riley's personality. The movie ends with the dialogue of Joy as the emotions regulate her in harmony as she plays ice hockey, with her parents cheering her throughout. Life seems good once again.